Happy Sunday, lovelies. So I was just doing my mind map this morning and I was working on some new ways of thinking and believing. And while doing my vision journaling mind map, which is something that has been incredible for me, I go through like what I'm usually feeling and kind of how I was brought up to feel. And guilt is something that we carry around a lot, for almost everything that we do. If we experience joy, sometimes we get to feel guilty about it. If we make a lot of money, we start feeling guilty about it. If we are really happy in our relationships, it's another thing we have to feel guilty about because we're just taught guilt. So I was looking for another word because when you're doing your mind map, you want it to be in a positive note when you're manifesting and you're living in your presence. And one of those things that is so hard to erase and eradicate is our guilty feelings, our guilty emotions, because we are so programmed to think that we are bad and don't deserve. And it is the biggest limiting block that we have. So I was looking for some really good commands for what is the opposite word for guilt and shame. And then it dawned on me that there was like just a few of them, but there was so many other words that you can describe for guilt. But I Googled what is the opposite of guilt and shame. Dignity is the opposite of shame, and pride is the opposite of guilt. What are we taught not to have? Since we're growing up, don't be too proud. And if you do anything human, if you do anything that kind of promotes self-love or advancement of your own being in any way, it's always the stay humble, right? Don't have any pride. There's a whole bunch of words for shame. And that whole dignity thing, if we do anything that seems lesser than ourselves, we're losing our dignity. Just some Sunday morning food for thought. I think we need to have more feelings and more words for the opposite of shame and guilt, and to remove those limits that we have from our lives. I'm not saying go around and do bad shit and feel bad about it. No, of course not. But what I'm saying is, if you make a mistake and you vow not to do it again because it wasn't the right thing, and you learn that lesson, you shouldn't have to keep that guilt within you. You shouldn't have to keep that shame within you. You're allowed to let it go. You're allowed to evolve and move forward. Apparently, there's just not many words for it in the English dictionary. And the two that are there, we're kind of told are some things we shouldn't have. It's always be humble, be meek, and I just don't get it. Wanting to live without shame and saying I live a shameless life, and that automatically is like a cringe-worthy statement. Saying I love my dignity, I live with dignity, is also kind of like a programmed cringe-worthy thing. I don't know. I don't like it though. I want to have pride in what I do. I want to live without shame. I don't want to feel that. It's not an emotion that I care to. I know that I'm good, and I know that the things that I want to do and my intentions are good. Not everybody lives this way, I get it. You know, but I think that there should be more valuable expressions of self-love, self-worth, self-value, you know, and shamelessness, to live without shame. And I wonder if it's our programming. Just some food for thought. Happy Sunday.